All right, welcome back to Coffee Break Real Estate. It's been a little while, but Adam and I are back, and just to give you guys an update, we are going to be doing shorter episodes, so we're going to do around 30 minutes, just so you guys can get your information quicker and get some time back in your day, which we all want. So, yeah, let's get started. So, Adam, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking my mushroom coffee as usual. Uh, threw some ice in there since, it's a nice day out today. How about you?
Black coffee as usual, and I'm really
Mug?
boring today. I have a plain mug.
Where's the other mugs? The dishwasher?
I just No, I just grabbed this. It was the first one I grabbed this morning, so
It's all
not fun
good.
today. It's
That's
raining
all right.
outside, so it's just
Oh,
a
that's why.
normal. Yeah, yeah.
That's why. See, this is the opposite. Usually it's the weather's bad here, but
I know, it's crazy.
all right, cool. Today, we're going to be talking about stuff that you don't usually see on social media, right? You jump on, you see realtors, loan originators posting a picture of the house saying just closed as a caption, right? And everything looks amazing. What we're going to do is kind of go behind the scenes here and talk about some deals that are not the typical cookie cutter deals where everything magically works along the process. We're going to go over one deal in particular that got pretty messy. Maybe you could even say starting from the inspection, but more on the financing side. So let's start with Danny. Do you want to jump in and just, start with how you got in contact with the client or how you met them?
Yeah, so these are clients that I know personally. I've met them. I'm not like super good friends with them, but met them both. It was actually a couple that I kind of know each of them separately.
Hmm.
But long story short, got in contact with them on Instagram. They reached out and said, "Hey, we're looking at buying a house, and can you help us out?" And I was like, "Yeah." And on this one particular, they had a house chosen already, so we were willing to go check out a lot more, and we were ready to. But they had one chosen, and when we viewed it, they liked that specific one, and we're ready to put an offer in right away. But I think the original contact with them, I had them reach out to you and get a prequal. So they didn't have a realtor or a lender they were working with, so it was a, just kind of lead that came in on social media, and yeah,
So we saw them on the dream team.
the dream team, yeah.
So what was going on in your mind and your conversations with them? So I got them the pre-qualification, as they say in Arizona, but the way I say it is like a full-blown pre-approval letter. So that means going through the underwriting automated system and then also, making sure that everything when we plugged it in, everything looks good and we were able to give some options. So this was going on in process because timing was of the essence. So Danny was thinking about his offer. So tell me about that with your conversation with them and what you decided to do.
Yeah, so I mean, just like any offer, I comped the house out and looked at comparables and figured out what I thought that house was worth. This house wasn't super nice. I mean, it was move-in ready for sure. But luckily they were going into this house wanting to remodel it. So I knew we had some leverage there because it wasn't a super nice house and they did have it a little overpriced. So I already knew we were going to be asking for a little bit less.
What was it
And
listed at?
then it was listed at 550.
Okay.
Um, and remodeled houses in that area were going for around 600. So I knew it was a little overpriced because that remodel, it was a, fairly big house, so that remodel is going to cost a lot of money. Um, and then I kind of looked at everything, right? Like I normally do. I don't just like treat all offers the same. So I looked at who the owner was, and I saw that it was owned by a trust company. Um, so then it was like, okay, what's going on here? Why is it owned by a trust company? Sometimes it's just someone's personal trust. But this one I could tell was an actual trust company, like a fiduciary that handles usually probates. So I figured it was a probate situation. So then I did what I always do, and I called the listing agent to kind of just ask general questions to kind of feel out what's going on. And that's where I got the info that, hey, this was a probate, this is a trust company. So I was like, okay, normally sometimes that's not a good thing, but I felt like in this situation it was because um, they're not emotional. They're just trying to get the house sold. They have a fiduciary duty to get the house sold. So I was like, okay, we can be a little more aggressive because when there's emotions involved, if you offer too low, sometimes you can upset people and then they won't want to even counter offer. But I was like,
Yeah.
this is a trust company, like they're gonna counter offer, Um, and then we submit. Oh, and then I got with you like we always do because
Hmm.
I was like, I don't always get a lot of information on our clients' financials. You do. So then it was like, hey, what goals do they have? And I think when you and I talked, it was kind of, hey, they're pre-approved for X amount, but they want to focus on not coming to the closing table with a lot of money, right?
Correct.
Um,
Because they needed it
yeah,
for renovations.
exactly. So that's when I was like, okay, well, we're not going to go just a straight purchase price, reduction. We're going to do a purchase price reduction and ask for credits from the seller.
Hmm.
And for those of you that don't know, credits are essentially, you're getting the house for cheaper because you're getting that money. But what credits do is they apply towards stuff at closing. So closing costs, rate buy downs, insurance, different things where instead of just you lowering your price where you're still coming to the closing table with a lot of money, this actually reduces how much you're coming to the closing table with because the seller is actually paying for those items. So what we ended on was a $530,000 sales price, so 20K off list plus a 2% concession on top of that. So the net number there was about 519, I think a little bit more than 519.
Hmm.
But that got, and then it got accepted right away. So that, and that was like, it was nice that it got accepted, but then, psychologically it's always like, man, could I have asked for
Yeah.
more? But
Yeah.
I think it was that sweet spot number, where they probably wouldn't have gone down much more, but we were able to get the deal wrapped up pretty quick. So
Yeah. And I saw those numbers and I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So right off the
hmm
bat, you just got about 31,000 off of the list price. So that's always going to be
yeah,
beneficial for the clients.
yeah,
Um,
and that's what honestly a lot of people miss that is like a
mhm.
lot of people think they're making money later on with appreciation, and you do that, or the remodel is going to add value, but a lot of times you make a lot of the money up front. So when you buy like a good buy is where you're making a lot of your money.
Yeah. And if, you're not negotiating hard up front, then, you're already losing.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and then
So,
yeah, then after that we had the inspection. We already kind of could tell that there were some going to be some issues with this house. We saw some foundation issues, so we got a pretty good inspection actually.
hmm.
We had some more specialists come out, not just a general inspection. But long story short, we did the inspection, and then I got a little aggressive on that one too, and we asked for 25, or we asked for I think it was like 40 grand off. And it was warranted. There was a lot
Yeah.
of stuff that needed to get fixed that was about that much. But we went back and forth with seller, and I think we ended on 25 grand off. So now we're down to 505 plus the 2% commission. So, or concession. So I think that put us at like 480, 490 or something like that. But yeah.
Yeah. 505 minus 10,100. So you were at
There you go.
494,900. So that's
Okay, there you go.
$55,100 off of that list price, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Nice work
it's
there.
great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and then of
Dream
course
team.
Yeah, dream team. Danny put in the work, got some good stuff out of it, good pricing and reductions. Then he passed it over to me, and that's where things got messy. Uh,
Yep.
so initially what we did was when worked on a pre-approval, I gave some options to them, like as I always do, just looking at FHA loans versus conventional and stuff like that. So pretty much gave them a side by side presentation so they could see what's going on, and then they wanted to push for the conventional loan, which makes sense for most of the time. But we started
I'm gonna stop you
getting,
right there.
oh,
I like what you did with the video. So Adam had very, very good communication where
mm,
he did a video with a side by side comparison and didn't tell them what to do. Just said, hey, this is, how much you're gonna bring to the table with this
mhm.
loan versus this loan. This is how much your payments can be with this loan versus this loan. This is the pros and cons of each, and he let them make the decision. But that video was amazing. Just
Oh,
walking
thank you.
through each one and letting them know what decision to make. So
Yeah, it's
sorry, I
just,
cut you off there, but
empowering them. No, you're right. That's what we do. It's like we don't make the decision for them. We just kind of give them the information and have them be empowered to make that decision. But yeah, so with the financing, when we got into underwriting and all that, turns out one of the buyer had something on their credit report that they did not know of. And really quick, this is a reason why you want to get your credit pulled right away, is because sometimes things are on there and you're like, what the heck? So the borrower didn't know something that was on there. And then it turns out there was something on there that was past due for a long time. They didn't realize it. And the underwriter was telling us, okay, well, you're going to have to pay that at closing or before. And let's just say it was around $5,000. Okay. Our client's goal is to come to the closing table with as little money as possible. So this adding 5,000 to what they have to bring to the table is going to be giving us issues, right? And they're not going to be happy with it. So we got creative. We ordered something called a supplement trade line. So what it did was kind of update the trade line because it wasn't updated since last year. So we did that, and then a new trade line came in saying it was a charge off. And what that did was it allowed us to not have to pay it at closing, which was nice. So that 5,000 right there that they had to come to the table, we got it taken care of. Next thing, something that's a very gray area right now, but it's starting to get more and more leeway is crypto funds. Using crypto funds as assets or using crypto funds for down payment and closing costs. Um, well, this lender was kind of a gray area in what they wanted, and it's like, you know what? Certain things in crypto that not a lot of banks and lenders pay attention to is just like, the wallet, right? The being able to have a wallet that's very secure because, you've heard of some crypto scams happening where people were just out of nowhere losing crypto money from their wallets.
yeah.
So our borrowers, they're super smart. They put their money in a crypto wallet that was very, very encrypted. Even their personal information was hard to obtain from that wallet. So
There
that's what
was
they
no
did.
personal information, I think, right? It
Yeah.
was like one of the what's it called? That's what we learned was the non-custodial versus custodial, where it's like
Yep.
the non I think non-custodial is like you don't have your name on that thing at all. You
Mm-hmm.
just have like that whatever that code is called, the encrypted key or whatever that if
Yeah.
it's not your money, it's just you have access to this wallet and it's just sitting there. So
And it's not even
that was
a
one thing we learned.
passcode. Yeah. It wasn't a passcode. It was
Yeah.
like a passcode sentence that you had to put in,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
was
yeah. It was like
wild.
super long. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So, that's what was causing some issues and, getting the funds, making sure the funds were actually converted to US dollars. But, anyways, we found a way around that, but that was kind of like towards the end where timing was kind of an issue there. And we ended up getting it done, but Danny's something happened that I have never had happen to me. And I don't know if it's more of an Arizona thing, but tell us about the trust company on the day that we were supposed to be clear to close.
That's right. Okay, so in Arizona, our contracts have what's called a cure notice and a cure period. So if anyone breaches contract, so if you go against the terms of the contract, the party that got breached on, so in this case, we breached because we didn't have a clear to close 3 days before closing.
Hmm.
Um, Technically we're in breach, but that doesn't cancel the contract right away. In this case, the seller has to give us a cure notice saying, hey, you breached contract. You have 3 days to fix this breach. And then at that point, if they want, they can pull the contract completely. So I've seen this before when I was wholesaling with closing dates. So if you didn't close on the day you were supposed to, the seller would send you a cure notice, giving you 3 more days to close. So I've never seen it with anyone do it with the clear to close, but I think because this was a trust company, They just are on it like, this is the contract and this is what we have to do. Like I said, there's no emotions. So it was kind of like, hey, you need a clear to close. So it was Friday and we were supposed to have a clear to close. And I was like, we'll be good, like, because honestly, deals go 1, 2, 3 days past closing days all the time. And most times sellers are fine with it. Like, it's just, as long as the lender's in communication and everything's looking good, it's fine. But we got a cure notice. So I called Adam right away and I'm like, hey, like, now time is of the essence. Like, we need a clear to close by Monday, or else there's a chance that they're going to pull this contract.
And that
Um,
was and the thing that sucks about that situation was it was on a Friday, and it's not
yeah,
3 business days, right? It's
no,
three
three
days.
days. It's 3 days, but if it lands on a weekend, it'll get extended to Monday. But it was 3 days. It was Friday's the worst day to get cured.
Yep.
Literally, Friday is the worst day because you only have one business day to get everything fixed.
Pretty much, pretty much. And you know what? Honestly, I didn't feel that the deal was in jeopardy with the conditions that we had to get done. I just, like Danny said, timing was of the essence. So, and the timing wasn't on our side, especially with the whole weekend thing. So
Yeah,
there were that was a moment where we had to literally like put the pedal to the metal. Like underwriters, I had them replying back to me on the weekend, like literally Saturday. I was talking to them on Friday and I was like, please help me on Saturday. This is something that we need to get done for these buyers. They're great people. They're newlyweds. They're getting their first home. We got to get this done. We can't lose this house. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. That was stressful. And from my side, I was just literally just making sure, all parties were staying calm because I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of in the middle of it all. I was like, I don't have any control. I mean, Adam was too, it's literally like the underwriter. So we're just kind of all relaying info to each other and I'm letting the
Mm-hmm.
seller's agent know like, hey, we're good. Adam's talking to the seller's agent. I'm talking to the buyers. Like, everyone was staying calm, which was nice, but it was except me and Adam, obviously.
Yeah,
We
of
were, uh,
course.
we were stressing out that weekend,
We were
but,
stressing and sweating, and we were we out of town? Was that when we were
um,
in Michigan?
no, 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 no. I don't remember I don't remember if we went before or after to Michigan, but
I
it
remember
may have been right around that time, I think.
I think it was because I was at the airport when I was talking to
Yeah.
the borrower.
I think
Because
we got the cure notice the day after we got back from Michigan.
oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right.
but
So I mean that was tough, and I just want to throw in there that Danny was saying earlier that working with a trust company, there's not emotions involved, which is good on the negotiating side. But again, if we're not able to meet deadlines, there's also no emotion there as well.
yep.
And that won't favor us to be able to make sure we get everything done in a timely manner.
Yep. Yep. But then,
Definitely.
Adam made it happen, and I think it was on Monday. You stepped up big and you pushed everyone, and we got the clear to close on Monday, which was very
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that the trust company did back off at that point because we didn't get a cure on Monday because Monday was closing day, by the way, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So we were supposed to close on Monday, but they didn't send us a cure notice saying, "Hey, you didn't close. You have 3 days to close." So that actually bought us a little bit more time, even, but. Um, Adam stepped up big, and I think we got it closed on Wednesday, Tuesday,
Tuesday.
you know, Tuesday. So we had through Thursday or Friday at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But you got it done, and we closed on Tuesday. So
Yeah, that
yeah,
was getting that clear to close on that Monday and not getting a cure was like, all right, now we could kind of relax and
yeah,
just let things unfold with the title company. So,
yeah,
and then we told them like, hey, we can close on Wednesday, and they're like, oh, great. And then we ended up buyers started signing everything on Tuesday, and then everything was done on Wednesday. So that worked
yeah.
out perfectly. I was stressing so hard for that week and a half. It was crazy.
It was a lot for sure. But honestly, this is truly where like having the right lender matters a lot. I mean, there's Adam had to go above and beyond. It wasn't just like a anything easy. So I feel like other people may have given up or not pushed as hard as they did. And with timing being of the essence in this one, if you missed, if we got that clear to close 12 hours later, we would have been screwed. Like we would have had to cancel that contract. So um, yeah, just super like, just super fast problem solving. The communication from you, I think, was the best part too, because that
Hmm.
helps ease people, right? Like you were on the phone with the listing agent. A lot of lenders won't do that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, you were just keeping everyone calm and getting conditions cleared and yeah, just made it happen. So this thing probably would
Yeah,
have delayed
I
or gotten
appreciate that.
canceled if it was someone else. So
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, but it's not just me, it's the team because even when I was trying to do things on the actual condition side, you were in the background, kind of calming the clients, talking to the listing agent as well, and just letting them know, like, hey, things are under control. It's just a timing issue, and we're good. I mean, so it's like it's a team effort, and then stuff like this, experience helps. Being able to work through whatever we can to get to that finish line and just being able to do it together. Because if Danny and I were not on the same page, this deal won't close, because
hmm
he has to have my back and I have to have his back. We have to look out for the client's best interest. And, and this deal doesn't close without that.
yeah, literally need a strong team for deals to close. So
Yeah, 100%.
yeah, but we got it done. Lots of lessons learned on that one. I mean, small things like that, the crypto stuff, like we know a lot more about that and what you need
Yeah.
to do in situations like that. Like I said, negotiating is key. You really, really need a strong negotiator. I think that our buyers, went into the deal with a decent amount of equity up front, and a leg up. But I truly think when you're choosing an agent, a strong negotiator is probably the most important thing for sure. You know, you anyone can open doors, but you want someone that can actually negotiate. You want someone that can talk to other people and get you a good price for a house. I mean, I think that's the biggest advantage to using a realtor. So that's what
Hmm.
you should be choosing a realtor off of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, realtors, you could also be good, but also you got to have that that empathy and compassion for your clients as well. And I think that you had that 100% from start to finish. As far as lending goes, I mean, you're not done until the deal is funded, right? Um, People think like, hey, you're pre-approved, so everything is going to be fine and dandy. I have somebody literally right now who we got a conditional approval and he's asking me, are we clear to close yet? I'm like, hey, this isn't like in the movies, it takes it takes 30 days for a reason, let's be
Yep.
patient. There's a lot of parties involved in this, but
He wants to
just
go
know
out
that,
and buy that new car already.
yeah, or he wants to start remodeling this house too. So, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
things get changed late. We try to prevent them as much as we can. And, with financing, we try to make sure that we know everything. But again, sometimes we don't. Um, the main thing that I would say to add on top of Danny's is, the difference is how your team handles these roadblocks that come in front of us. And that's another way to be able to choose your team on who you work with as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said, yeah, your team's very, very important. And um, like I said earlier, anybody can open doors, but not everybody can close. So it was our team that got it closed, and yeah, this was a hard one. A lot of lessons learned, and like Adam said earlier, not things that you see on Instagram. We did put the just closed post up, and it was great, but nobody knew what it took to get that close. So yeah, but
A
it's
lot of
kind of
pain behind that post.
a lot of pain behind that post for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think we're done a little early. But if you guys want, more breakdowns like this, let us know. We have a lot more. Both of us have a decent amount of experience. So if this works out and you guys like it, let us know in the comments. We'll get some more for you guys. So yeah.
We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.
Catch you on the next one. See you guys.